Good afternoon from the magical school bus on the road. Except the bus is still parked in New Mexico. I'm somewhere in the wildernesses of Utah. The bus is no longer fit for the road, unfortunately, so it is permanently affixed to the property. I found this place almost accidentally during COVID, the first year. I spent that first year living almost entirely outdoors and out of my truck. I first began living on the property in New Mexico in a Shelby tent, which is a type of canvas wall tent. And I started exploring and camping as much as I could. I had made a trip back and forth to the Northwest to visit family during that first year. And I found this way on my way back down to the Southwest. And I have a penchant, obviously, for finding these out-of-the-way places. And every time I do, I like to kind of think of a story or make up a story about what happened. I found an old frontier homestead in another part of Utah that year, and I found whatever this is. I like to think that this was perhaps a smuggler's hideout or bootleggers or something of this sort. My own great-grandfather was a bootlegger, just happened to find out a few years ago. Anyway, in terms of smuggling, it got me to thinking about the Sufis by Idris Shah. And while that may be a bit of a leap for some of us to make, as you can see, this copy has been well worn. I had to retape the binding. There's a chapter in here called The Subtleties of Mullah Nasruddin. They're fables of a sort, a character of folly and curiosity and subtle cunning. Because the average person thinks in patterns and cannot accommodate himself to a really different point of view, he loses a great deal of the meaning of life. He may live, even progress, but he cannot understand all that is going on. The story of the smuggler makes this very clear. Nasruddin used to take his donkeys across the frontier every night, with the panniers loaded with straw. Since he admitted to being a smuggler when he trudged home, the frontier guards searched him again and again. They searched his person, sifted the straw, steeped it in water, even burned it from time to time. Meanwhile, he was becoming visibly more and more prosperous. Then he retired and went to live in another country. Here, one of the customs officers met him many years later. "You can tell me now, Nasruddin," he said. "Whatever was it that you were smuggling when we could never catch you?" "Donkeys," said Nasruddin. This story emphasizes one of the major contentions of Sufism. The preternatural experience and the mystical goal is something nearer to mankind than is realized. The assumption that something esoteric or transcendental must be far off or complicated has been assumed by the ignorance of individuals. And that kind of individual is the least qualified to judge the matter. It is far off only in a direction which he does not realize. So, contemplate what's being smuggled in front of us in plain sight. Make sure your coffee is strong and hot, and do a bit of your own smuggling in plain sight. See you down the road.